Hi guys, Centurion here, and today I'm going to be making a video basically expressing my opinion about the current state of DayZ and why they really need to do better. Now, I'm not saying that the devs do anything wrong, but I believe they are focusing on the wrong things at the moment. Now, the recent update has basically been more of a cosmetic thing instead of actually emphasizing the aspect of DayZ being an open world, do your own thing, survival, kill zombies, just basically survive. And they've gone to more of a thing where if your character looks cool, you are cool type of thing. And I believe they've focused on the wrong thing. Now, hear me out. Now, recently DayZ has done a lot with cosmetic items. In the past few updates, they've released a lot in terms of the bum bags, or the fanny packs, the bags in total. They've brought out different coloured plate carriers and such a bit more, including different type of crossbows and colours of crossbows. Now, the reason why I'm saying I think they've focused on the wrong thing is because a lot of more people want something else. Now, if you play the DayZ expansion, you're probably not going to have an issue with this, but if you play vanilla, like I do a lot, or just standard standalone DayZ, you'd notice that it's very lackluster. Now, the things that I think they really should be focusing on, even though some may be a cosmetic thing, is they should be focusing more on the food items, the weapons, weapon calibers, your base stuff. For example, instead of just having fences and watchtowers, I believe they should be focusing on also having stuff like barricades, utilizing the sheet metal into making something like a metal hatch, so you can go upstairs and have a second floor and a fence, or something where you could attach fences together as a clipping item so they're next to each other, and then you could put a floor on that and then build fence above it, and you can actually make a house. Very much like you can do in Rust. Now, make sure I put things on screen, because I have seen a lot of things on screen and a lot of things on the internet from modding items and other stuff that I could show you so you can get an idea. Now, even though the modding items, the stuff they have recently brought out for the items, such as the different colour crossbows and the different colour plate carriers, different colour bum bags, more items that you can find, even though I do like them, don't get me wrong, they are good, but it's not exactly what we want. Now, the thing that I know a lot of people want is different guns. And having different guns in the game would mean people would go play more, they will PvP more, there's going to be less, obviously, chance of people thinking, oh no, I'm going to lose all my gear. And just having something like a different bag, maybe a raid bag like you can find on modded DayZ, 100 slots, or a chest with a lock on it, so only you can have access to that chest and you can pop them around the map. It'll be so much better. People will be having less fear of losing their gear. They'll be leaving their base more. There'll be more PvP. There'll be more interactions across the map. But it's not happening. So I'm thinking, what if I could maybe make a video like I'm doing now and get the ideas out there, and hopefully Bohemia would see that, or people in the modding community will see that and bring it to normal DayZ and have a possibility of making a mod so that even if you do play expansion DayZ on PC, you could have a vanilla server with default settings with this type of idea to it, and so see how it goes. See, now that I've talked about what they should do better, it's time now we focus on what they should change and really rework. Now, the first thing is the scope, or the hunting scope more properly. Now, when you look down the hunting scope, as you'll see on screen in just a second, you just see 4 bars, which isn't exactly accurate. Now, one thing they're forgetting to add is mils, which is each 100 meters, and on the right to left is your wind direction and the change for the speed of the wind, as well as the Coriolis effect, which is the more proper way. Now, with that, you really need to add those in, because one, it will look better for the scope, and two, you can actually judge distance properly when having the hunting scope. The other thing is, when you put a bottle suppressor on a high caliber weapon, such as anything that takes the 7.62x54R or the 308 Winchester, the bottle suppressor has the ability to fire 4 rounds. But if you actually look at it properly, and the amount of gas that is brought out of the weapon when you shoot it, putting 4 bullets through that is a very long shot. It's a massive long shot. Even if you put all the duct tape on it, and you use an entire roll, and you put it on, it probably won't even take 2, because the amount of gas that is coming out of that weapon, it'll basically blow open at the front. Which is putting 4 rounds down range, unrealistic, but 2, you might get 2 out of it. But having 1 suppressed shot, yeah. Having 2, probably not. And the other thing is when you're being shot in the chest by a high caliber. For example, the 308 Winchester and the 7.62x54. Being shot in the chest when you've got a plate carrier on, you probably won't survive either way, because they're going so quick, it'll probably just penetrate in and then go straight back out. You'll probably stay in, but having just being knocked out by that is probably unrealistic. Being shot in the chest maybe by 5.56 probably won't even better, but maybe a 7.62. There are cases where people do survive and get hit in the chest with a 7.62x39 and they get winded. Now the other one is, obviously, you could add the winding effect, where you get shot in the chest, plate carrier on, or a ballistic vest on, and it gets hit and you get knocked to your feet. Probably wouldn't do that, but losing your stamina, maybe, because being winded by a bullet is probably not a nice feeling, and from multiple record accounts of it across, bios from, soldiers and police officers, it's probably not the best thing you want. And the last thing is the normalized suppressor. Now this one has been bugging me for quite a while. Now you can put the normalized suppressor on 4 different caliber weapons: the 5.45, 7.62x39, 5.56x50, well, 5.56x45, which is your NATO cartridge for the M4, and the 7.62x54R. Now, the chances of being able to put the same suppressor and not having a different suppressor for across 4 different calibers, and bear in mind the 7.62x39 is quite a thick caliber compared to the 5.56 and 5.45, and being able to put the same suppressor on is highly unlikely. The caliber you want, especially for the 5.45, is you're probably looking more for the PBS4 suppressor, and that would allow you to have that on, but to have the caliber change but have the same suppressor is very unrealistic, because it's a wider and shorter and smaller caliber. So moving a suppressor across 4 different guns, you'll probably have, it'll probably scrape the barrel, it will destroy the rifling, the gas will explode the suppressor, there's not too much gas, there's too less gas, you probably have a ruined suppressor by the end of it. And having it for the 5.4, which is your sniper caliber, it's the same for the mosin and the VSD, and putting a normalized suppressor on it, it's such a larger caliber, you'll probably have the amount of rifle, the barrel strikes, it'll ruin the suppressor, you'll have so much dirt in it, and you'll probably blow the suppressor. So just having the little bit of research and having a different suppressor, or the suppressor change, so you could put you could call it a Russian suppressor or a Soviet suppressor, and you could have it change across the different guns. So one, you could have it on a rifle, for example the AKM, and it's the PBS4 suppressor, but under that same name, but it will change if you put it on a rifle like the VSD. So it just having that a bit change. Apart from that, I'm not going to keep ranting. If you believe anything should be added, what Bohemia really needs to focus on, put it in the description. And if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. 92% of my audience aren't subscribed, and having me hit the target that I've set this start of this year to hit 5k by the end of this year will be a massive help. Apart from that, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in a bit.